Sure, no it does.
Reef and Vinny have in fact partnered on the War Number 4 when in 2020 they were joined by Robin Tyndall and became the first S3 to complete the arduous Cape Point Challenge. Reef's paddling journey began 7 years ago when he was just 15. His inspiration was a friend of his, Geordie Malherbe, who had represented South Africa a couple of times in the Youth Olympic category, that is the Olympic Hope competition. If you happen to be a middle-aged intermediate paddler and are simultaneously also a fundamentally flawed, not yet actualized human being like me, then allow me to project, if I may, the paradoxical impact of this video on you. On the one hand, you will derive immense vicarious enjoyment from watching a master at work, whilst on the other hand, you will probably battle to contain the little green monster of envy as you realize that no matter what you do, no matter how much effort you put in, your paddling will never reach this level. Reef has pretty much dedicated his life to climbing the ladder of paddling expertise, and his 3 happy places on the planet are the swamp, where he builds and masters his stroke, the gym, building his fitness and strength, and lastly he derives huge satisfaction and fulfillment from being a coach with the Mocky School. He loves nothing more than seeing others improve and thrive under his guidance. Reef is the holder of a couple of Miller's Run records, along with Uli Hart. They hold the record for the fastest reverse biffles at 1 hour and 12 minutes. And then the one that really knocks my socks off is his Wilson's record. Last year he completed the Wilson, which is 10 consecutive Miller's Runs, in a total time of 12 hours, 10 minutes and 24 seconds, which means that each full turnaround was a sub 1 hour and 15 minutes. I mean, that is just crazy. Started the clock here because this is where Reef achieves what I consider to be a continuous run of slightly more than 2 minutes. Now, I don't know what the technical true definition of a continuous or set of linked runs is, but my simple definition is that if for that duration you are continuously under swell momentum and you are not missing any ground swell and you're not missing any wind swell, in other words, at no stage are you achieving forward speed only through your own paddling, then in my book you're on a continuous run. us had started a new 1 kilometer section at the beginning of that run. I'm pretty sure that would have been his fastest, but in fact it wasn't. His fastest kilometer was kilometer 8, which is well after the lighthouse. And as you can see, this is still before the lighthouse. Coming up shortly, in about 10 seconds time, is the first YouTube posting of a perfect paddler's pirouette. Features of this run was that the groundswell was moving particularly quickly, and whilst I haven't included footage herein, there were a number of instances where the groundswell moved underneath Reef and he wasn't able to keep up with it or catch it, and I'm sure that it would have been beyond the reach of pretty much every paddler.
Wow, okay.
This got me thinking whether it would be technically possible for any paddler under any conditions to ever hang on to one of the giant greybeards in the Southern Ocean. The greybeards are produced by the Screaming 60s, the biggest uninterrupted fetch in the world, with the Southern Ocean uninterrupted by any of the continents. And apparently these greybeards can travel at speeds of up to 60 kilometers an hour. If I'm not mistaken, Jasper has recorded a top speed of 41 k's an hour on an ocean-going swell, and I just wondered whether it's technically feasible to hang on to one of these greybeards under any circumstances. On a tangentially related note, I'm narrating this on the day after the 20th anniversary of the Boxing Day tsunami of 2004 in the Indian Ocean, the world's greatest tsunami disaster of all time, with 230,000 deaths. And I heard on the BBC that the speed of the deep ocean tsunami wave was 500 miles an hour, and I thought that just couldn't be correct. My subsequent investigation corroborates this BBC initial source, and I was amazed to discover that the speed of the initial undersea explosion was 10,100 kilometers per hour. This vicarious experience with the Reef, then stay tuned to the channel, as I have at least one other young elite paddler lined up to take my cameras up for a spin shortly.